You can't learn from experience if you don't have any. Go outside.
Move, damn you!
I have a friend named Delphine French, and she found me through my old website back around 2000, and we actually talked for a couple times back then, but around that time she was moving from Minnesota to Florida, and eventually we just lost touch. So 13 years later, she finds me on Facebook, and by the craziest coincidence, she ends up living 3 blocks away from me, and has been for a solid year and a half. We just never knew. That's crazy. So she fills me in on the past 13 years. Most of that time she'd been an athlete, competitive karate and taekwondo when she was a kid. She did capoeira in Florida in her early 20s. Also part of a professional breakdancing performance crew for several years, off and on throughout the 2000s. But in her early 20s, she was bitten 4 times by a brown recluse spider. It's one of the most poisonous spiders on the planet, and barely survived. In the same period, she got staph infections from each bite, contracted pneumonia, and was later diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. The next couple of years was just traveling across the country, going from doctor to doctor, trying out all manner of modern and alternative treatments. And eventually she ended up in California, where her symptoms, they plateaued for a little while. But in 2009, everything kind of came crashing down, and things haven't really gotten better since. 2 years ago, she was diagnosed with lupus. That's an incurable autoimmune disease where the immune system is basically overreacting and attacking the body. Yeah, it's completely fucked. So right now she has, on a daily basis, vomiting, vertigo, extreme fatigue, migraines, anxiety. Well, she spends the entire day in some degree of pain. She has lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, occipital neuralgia, spine degeneration, post-traumatic stress disorder, nerve damage, vestibular and vertiginous migraines, Meniere's disease, I don't even know what that is, gastroparesis, and I'm serious when I say that this is not even the entire list. Just a hell of a decade. And I don't want to get started on how many medications she takes. I've seen them, it's in the dozens. I've visited her a few times. She's often bedridden for a long period of the day, but she makes jewelry and artwork to pay her expenses, even though the arthritis and inflammation make it difficult for her hands. She takes care of a lot of animals. Soon she's going to adopt a stray she found on a recent trip to Costa Rica. Needless to say, Delphine is an extremely stubborn and headstrong individual who, quite frankly, refuses to willingly lay down for anything if she can help it. Okay, so the crazy part of this story, besides that cumulative laundry list of afflictions, despite this life that she has been dealt, that extremely few people on this earth could ever possibly hope to come close to empathizing with, all she does, like every day, is get on Facebook and tell everyone she knows how grateful she is to be alive. Just that as bad as the pain is, or can be at whatever time, it'll pass, and as soon as she feels good enough to work, she's going to work. And life is beautiful, every day is wonderful, and it isn't over until it's over. And knowing someone like that personally changes your life, makes you think about your values. But now, practically all of us have it easy in comparison. But I'm not telling you this story to try to make you feel guilty about being in better health. That accomplishes nothing. It's the wrong way of looking at it. It's a dumb conclusion to come to. Truth is, we live in a completely unfair world. Tragic things happen every day to people who didn't do anything to deserve it. Genetic disorders, for example, not to mention, accidents or all manner of crimes. But stuff happens, and ultimately we have to reason things out that are beyond our ability to put in perspective. And we also can't fully be expected to empathize with a lot of problems in any case. So, given all of that, the least you can do is try to actively lift up those around you. And just make time and take opportunities to help somebody as often as you can. I mean, these days, and more so than ever, we are just constantly, willfully, self-absorbed and distracted, And so often that we forget to appreciate what good we have on all levels just around us from day to day. All the freaking time. But again, none of this should be out of a feeling of guilt. That's not at all an ideal motivator. You should do it because it's an affirmation of life. And, it's simple. Just, I'm not saying give your life savings to who the fuck asks. Just, say something nice if a friend is having a bad day, or lend a hand who's someone who needs it if they're within your reach. It don't cost nothing. Just make it a habit. If there's anything we can afford more of in this tragic-ass world, it's some spontaneous acts of kindness. And big or small, a good mood, when well applied, is contagious. Life is unfair, or definitely going to be unfair to all of us in one way or another. And all you really have is the present and immediate moment. So, when you're feeling grateful, spread it around. Odds are someone out there needs a reminder. Also, it's Delphine's birthday today, so happy birthday, Del.